What's going on, guys? Dom Plays here, alongside with Connor.
Yo,
Today we're bringing you in a Master Duel Academy video. For anyone that is new to the channel and does not know what that is, so basically, uh, same with our Duel Links videos when Duel Links was a thing. Basically, we build a deck, we play it, we save replays, we break down the deck, explain what the deck does, show some replays, so you can see the full deck in action. I know we haven't done this for a while. Obviously, our Call of Duty viewers are getting some decent views. StarCraft's getting up there. Um, we're a bit iffy on Master Duel, given that Master Duel's not really getting the views I'd say it once did. But we're still gonna upload some Master Duel videos. We enjoy it. I hope you guys do enjoy these. Um, more than welcome to watch videos if you ever do plan on getting into Master Duel. Somewhat free to play, um, but obviously if you want to craft cards quicker, you're better off buying gems and just going through packs. We've been playing Master Duel, what be about 3 years now? Two, three
yeah,
years?
however long it's been out.
Um, but yeah, so I know our last video we did, I believe it was a Templar breakdown.
I believe so, yeah.
Today's gonna be a, a deck that
Another
I've
fire deck.
another fire deck, a deck that I did want to play at some point, but didn't have the right support until about a few months ago. Um, Also, I've got a combo guide, so if you guys enjoy this video of the deck that I'm about to reveal, I can always do an updated video and go through a combo guide. If you guys want, more than happy to do that. Um, it's not it's not a tricky combo. It's just that if your Link monster gets negated, you have to go another way to make your own board. But we're about to show you. So obviously you'll see we're building Exodia for the deck. Probably build some Phoenix Smith U Bell. We've got Dragon Link, which probably should do a Dragon Link video at some point. But yeah, we do have the Fiend Smith cards, which that will be in another breakdown of the video. So the deck is Infernoble Knights. Who shout out to Team Samurai X for the deck build. Um, it's basically a mirror match of his deck build. I could say I find out like I do brick a bit. Um, but deck works. Obviously got to take triple tactics out because someone decrafted it. So I'll leave it at 40 cards. I tend to just run decks at 40, sometimes maybe 42 at the most. Um, Now to get into the breakdown of this deck. So Infinite Noble Knights, um, the end board's is pretty nuts. And what the deck can actually do. I think we've come across duels where our opponent could never really break our end board. So now we've got Infernoble Knight Renault. So if you control a fire monster, it's a special summon. If this card is special summon, you can target one of your fire warrior monsters or one of your equipped spells that is banished or in your graveyard. And so it's basically you can recycle. Uh, Fire Flint Lady. If you control a warrior, you can special summon. Then you can send this card to the graveyard and special summon one level 4. So it's a good way to if you somehow get negated, it's a nice little follow-up play. And then the turn, and if you do, your opponent cannot target it with card effects this turn. So it's a nice little protection. Um, we all know what Max E does, but for anyone that's new, so basically Max E, every time your opponent special summons a monster, you will draw a card. It's still a bit weird that it's limited to two. Something to get used to. Neo Spacian Aqua Dolphin. You can look at your You can discard one card, look at your opponent's hand, and choose one monster. If you control a monster with attack greater than or equal to the attack of that chosen card, destroy the chosen card. And if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Otherwise, you take 500 damage. It's a good way. It's a good way to know what your opponent's playing. Gives you just an idea on how to play around with
What
what
your opponent has.
Ash Blossom. If you add a card from the deck, special summon from the deck, or send a card from the deck to the graveyard, Ash Blossom can negate it. Neo Space Connector. So when you normal summon Neo Space Connector, you can special summon Dolphin. We don't use its effect. It's basically normal summon, special summon, look at your opponent's hand, and then go into ISO that way. Uh, Infernoble Knight Ogier. When this card is equipped, while this card is an equipped card, the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this is normal summon or special summon, you can send one Noble Arms card or one fire monster, except Noble Knight Ogier from your deck to the graveyard, which you normally send. I believe it is Ricardetto. I missed that one. Oops. So Ricardetto's effect is if this is normal summon or special, you can target one level 4 lower fire warrior in your graveyard. Special summon it. Also, you cannot expect special summon uh, for the rest of this turn except warrior monsters, which is no problem because each of your cards besides Diabell Star is the only one that's not a warrior.
Everything else is.
Oliver. So basically, while this card is equipped, your opponent cannot target with the equipped monster with card effects. So it's basically the same as can't be destroyed. OGs can't be destroyed. Oliver's your opponent cannot
Target.
target. Um, One of the following effects: you can send one fire monster or equipped spell from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand as a level 1 monster. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one warrior monster you control. Equip this card to that monster you control. Magius cannot be destroyed by battle if it's equipped to a monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle. So it's basically just recycles your cards. And then if this card's in your graveyard, you can target a warrior monster you control. Equip this card to that monster you control. Turpin. While this card is equipped, is an equipped card, the equipped monster can be treated as a tuner if used as synchro material. It's one of your way to go into Roland, Captain Roland. We'll get more into that in a sec. Basically, if you control a monster with a quick card, you can special summon. But if you special handle graveyard, but if you special summon it from the graveyard, banish it when it leaves the field, which doesn't really matter because you can just add it back to your deck anyway with Magus. And then yeah, if this card's in your graveyard and you can target one monster you control, equip this card. So basically, they all have the same graveyard effect. We all know it. Diabell Star, you can special summons, and then you send one card from your hand to your graveyard. Then, and if it's normal, special or normal, you can set one simple spell trap directly from your deck. During your opponent's turn, if this card is sent to the owner's hand or field to the graveyard, you can send one card from your hand or your field to the graveyard. If you do special summon this card, Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, you can, if you, as long as you've got a equipped card in the graveyard, you can special summon, you can banish and special summon. Basically, then it's a negate. Um, Plus, you can actually you can actually equip your opponent's monster to it. As long as you have an equip card, um, it's another form of disruption. Reinforcement of the army. It's a searcher for your level 4 warrior monsters. Heritage, you can add a noble knight monster or noble arms card. Uh,
which I believe it searches for the field spell as well.
yes, we don't really use it second. Um, the second effect is mainly just the searcher. Trip tactics. Opponent. If your opponent activates a monster effect during your main phase, you can draw 2 cards, take control of a monster, or look at your opponent's hand and shuffle 1 card from their hand back into the deck. Does come in handy. Original Sin for spoils. You can send 1 face-up card you control to the graveyard, special summon 1 level 1. So basically, you can get your Renault, Ricardetto, and I think believe that's it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
that's it.
your Renault
Just
or your Ricardetto or Fire Flint Lady. It's just another searcher, special summon. Living Fossil. We don't really use this card. I don't think you'll see me use it in the replays.
other than that, it's just a level 4 special summon from the graveyard.
Infernoble Arms Durendal. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can add a level 5 or lower fire warrior monster from your deck to your hand, then destroy this card. If this card is sent to the grave, you can target 1 level 5 or lower fire monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, you can't special summon except warriors. Also works. You can actually equip this card to your opponent's monster as well, and same thing. So this is pretty handy. The joy use. You can target while this card is equipped to a monster. You can target 1 fire monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, and then destroy this card. It's a good way to get your gear freed if you want to get that on the field. If this card is sent to grave because the equipped monster is sent to grave, you can special summon 1 fire monster from your hand. So that effect there, you could add gear free to your hand and then use Joy uses second effect to special summon it. Owl Mace, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can equip 1 Infernoble Arms equip spell from your deck or graveyard, except Noble Knight Arms Owl Mace to 1 appropriate monster you control, then destroy this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your fire warrior monsters that is banished or in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it's a good way to recycle your banished cards, which would be for your, I believe it's Turpin. This is the way to get your Turpin back, or any other card that gets banished by your opponent. Phoenix Gearblade, we normally equip it to gear free, gains 300 attack. And then also if you attack, you can send Gearblade to the graveyard and make another attack. Um,
Which
each
comes in handy sometimes.
and basically all your warrior monsters and fire monsters can make a second attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard or banished, you can activate a monster. To activate a monster effect, you can add this card to your hand, so it's a good recycler. Angelica's Angelic Ring. You'll see in the replays on how we get this, but basically Angelica's Angelic Ring is basically as soon as your opponent activates a first spell, activate the spell card, it automatically negates. So it just adds, and it's just another bonus disruption to all the other disruptions you have. Does come in handy. We don't really use the second effect. Um, so once per turn, every time your opponent activates a spell card, once per turn it will just negate it. Museums, the field spell, so all warrior monsters you control gain 500. Once per turn you can pay 1200 life points to add a noble. So the field spell is basically the searcher. Once per turn, if the previous effect was applied this turn, you can target one Noble Knight monster card in your spell trap zone special summon it. You also see the way the field spell, how the field spell works with your Roland, with your Emperor Charles, and bringing that back to make. It's one of the ways to go into your two Emperor Charles the Great. As you'll see in the replays and how that works, which we'll obviously go through it when that happens.
It's
Called
not
by
a once per turn either, so that's really cool.
called by for people obviously know what called by does, but for people that are new or who are looking to get into Master Duel, I probably wouldn't make a deck until you at least get called by the grave. Called by the grave does come in handy against your Maxi, your Ash Blossom, um, and whatever monsters that your opponent has two of or three of, and one's in the graveyard. So basically, called by the grave will say you play against, say, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and they summon. Let's say they summon in alternative White Dragon if they've played one, and they've got one in the graveyard, and they activate its effect to banish your monster. You can activate Call by the Grave to banish the alternative White Dragon in the graveyard, and it banishes it, and its effects are negated until the end of the next turn. So that does Call by the Grave does come handy, especially against Maxi. This deck sucks to Maxi. Um,
But with it being limited to two, it's less likely, but it's still annoying.
yeah, so this deck. One thing I'll say about this deck, if your opponent hits you with a Maxi, you're better off just ending your turn. With the amount of plays um, to get your full board, it's a lot of special summoning, and you don't really want to give your opponent that many cards, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to draw their cards and they're going to stop you anyway. Um, Crossout Designator basically negates whatever's whatever card. So if your opponent plays a Maxi, you can then call your Maxi, banish it, negated. Same with Nibiru, which obviously we don't run Nibiru. Um, but yeah,
Or
or Imperm. I do find I used to always use Imperm, but I do find that when you need to top deck a card, you seem to always just brick on Imperm. So I've taken that out. Deck runs fine without it, and plus with all the other disruptions that we have, we don't really need Imperm. Wanted Seeker of the Sinful Spoils. Basically, you can add it's your searcher to get Diabell Star, which we only run one. Don't really see the point of running two or three. I did run two at one point, but I prefer just to leave it at one. So that's it for the main deck. As you can see, um, not really. I wouldn't say it's expensive. I think the extra deck's a bit expensive. You're looking at like 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, 330, 360, 390, 420, 450, 480, 510. Yeah, it's getting close to probably close just over 600 you are. But obviously, if you've really got your Call By, your Ash Blossom, your Maxi, you don't really need to run Triple Tactics. I just use it. Like I said, there is sometimes where this deck does brick. So Triple Tactics good just to draw two cards. But
Immortal Phoenix is a free card as well. You can get it through
Immortal Phoenix.
in one of
Oh
the
yeah, like
legacy. So if you want to try and get lucky going through there, you can.
it is somewhat of the extra deck. Well, honestly, the extra deck, you probably wouldn't. You don't really need to run Apollo, Transcode, Goddess. I probably would say run Little Knight. Um, Princess, you you. I wouldn't say you really need Princess, but Princess is just good to be able to special summon a fire monster from your graveyard. Goddess, when we do a Snake Eye video, um, you'll see that Goddess actually helped us out. So Goddess does come in handy, especially when you're, and it's not hard to get like if your opponent's got a monster on the field and it's not hard to get 4 monsters on the field, go into Goddess just to get rid of your opponent's monster. Um, so it does come in handy at certain points of certain duels. So so extra deck. Captain Roland. If this card is synchro summon, you can activate the effect during the end phase. Captain Roland's basically you go into Captain Roland, synchro it off, and then you can then equip it to your Emperor Charles. I believe it's your Emperor Charles. Which I'll go through that bit through the video. Um, so you get a better understanding on how Captain Roland works. Angelica, Princess of Noble Arms. Uh, if this card is special summon, you can add a. So this is this searches for the field spell, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So uh, she searches for the field spell, but you'll see in the replay as well. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field, you can then switch, which you'll see in the combo. You can then switch her out and bring in, and it's how you bring in Captain Roland, I believe.
Yes. And she also works if your opponent uses Impermona or something.
Yeah, she dodge. You can dodge Imperm, which is
Pretty sick.
pretty good. Emperor Charles. If an equipped card becomes if an equipped card becomes equipped to a monster on the field during a damage step, you can destroy one card on the field. Um, just another way to remove your opponent's field. During the end phase, you can equip one spell card from your hand or graveyard to this card, then equip one Fire Warrior monster from your deck to this card as an equipped monster spell. As an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. You'll also see in the replays on how that works. Baron Baron DeFore is basically just a negate, which you'll see in the earlier videos. Um, so basically, it's a negate and it's a quick effect pop. You can target one card on the field and destroy it, and it's a quick effect. You can negate an activation. Emperor Charles the Great. You can target one Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles in your graveyard. This card's name becomes that target's original name, and it gains that target's original effects. So you wouldn't really use the Synchro Emperor Charles' effect to destroy to pop a card because Emperor Charles the Great, excuse me, gains that effect.
Which is permanent.
And then once per turn, when a spell, and it's also a spell trap negate, and all you've got to do is at a cost, you've got to send an equipped spell to the graveyard, so you always got to have something equipped to this card for it to work. And then at the end of the end phase, you can then equip um, a spell card to it, which you'll see how we send Angelica's Ring to the graveyard and use Emperor Charles in the end phase to equip it. Um, Isold. um, there is two ways in this combo, which I think you'll see. I think you'll see maybe one of the replays that I play it a different way instead of going to Isold. Isold is your way to send Angelica's Ring to the graveyard. Also, you can add Gearfried, Immortal Phoenix Gearfried to your hand, but you cannot special summon at the turn. You cannot special summon it. Isold, its effect, you can't normal summon with that name or activate their monster's effect. So unfortunately, and I do use it to search for Gearfried, but I cannot special summon at that turn. Which is normally we normally use it as a follow up for next turn if there is a next turn. I do find that you're probably better off running two. Um, if your first Ice Soul gets negated, you can go into it again, activate it again. I believe you can only use each effect once per turn. Or you use one. If it gets negated, then you at least you got the other one for follow up. I think this is the choke point with Infernoble Knights, I believe.
Usually.
If you negate ISO, they cannot really do much after that. They can still do their plays, but it won't be as good. Nightmare Phoenix, basically, if this card is linked, so you can discard to destroy target one spell or trap and destroy it. And if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw one card, which never is. Hilta is basically you can just target one fire monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it. It's just another way to get a body on the field. SP, if this card is linked someone using a fusion, synchro, XYZ or link monster as material, you can banish one card on the field. Then it's quick effect. I believe, yeah, quick effect, you can target two face-up monsters on the field, including a monster that you control. Banish both until the end phase, so it's a good way to activate Angelica's Princess of No Arms effect, or if you want to dodge an imperm. Um, Promethean Princess, basically when it's link summoned, you can special summon a fire monster from your graveyard. Unfortunately, as you'll see in the combo, you do have to get rid of Princess because it does stop you from making your plays. Because you're locked in. I believe you're locked in
Be fire.
to fire. And then obviously in the graveyard, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can pop one of your monsters in their monsters and special summon. Apollo, just basically depending on how many links, if you use if you use four materials for it, it's 3200, and it loses 800
Go negate.
to negate. So you get like four negates, but at once per chain. Unfortunately, it would be pretty busted.
If it
Um,
wasn't.
Access code, basically your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in the response to this card's effect activation. Gains attack, and then you can banish your link monsters to destroy cards on the field. Obviously, if we had update Gemma, we could then make a double attack for game, but we don't really need to. And Underworld Goddess, for effect monsters, you can also use your opponent's monster. So it does come in handy if you're in a spot where you can't get over one of your opponent's monsters, but you've got four monsters on the field. Then you can use Underworld Goddess to use your four plus their one, and it just negates all effects. You can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls, and then also you can negate graveyard effects. I believe it's once per turn, or is it just once? Yeah, once per turn you can negate graveyard effects. So it does come in handy. All right, guys. Well, now that's out the way. We'll go into the replays. We hope you guys. Um, like I said, we'll go through the replays and explain what's happening as it's happening, and we hope you guys get somewhat of a good understanding on how it works.
Here we go.
I wouldn't say this is a great hand, but we still made it work.
It's not a great hand, but it is usable. Phoenix Gearblade sends to the graveyard, you can bring it back.
Now, as I said, in one of these replays, there's a different way to play this deck without having to go into Icehold, and this is it. You level 4 and a level 1 straight into Angelica Princess.
Here they try and imperm, but nope. Just yeet her off the field. Bring in Captain Roland. Get the field spell. Add that. Almace. Equip. Go into
Emperor
Emperor
Charles.
Charles.
And now
Equip
here,
Roland.
you're gonna see how Emperor Charles works with the field spell. Um, Pretty nice, and it is pretty decent that the effect is not once per turn. So we go into Emperor Charles. Bring back Emperor Charles. Bring Emperor Charles back on the field. Equip it. Here's our second. I do have to
Emperor
say,
Charles.
both of these are once per turn effects. So if you activate one, you can't activate the other. Unfortunately, but they do get a huge boost in attack. Now we didn't
Don't
use Angelica's ring in this one because we didn't go into Isold. Isold is the way to Isold is the ideal way to get Angelica's ring on the field, unless you draw it. And I believe we wait for his normal summon for you, Bell, where then one of his normal summon monsters. Now we're gonna pop it. We're gonna. Oh yeah, no, he doesn't do anything. I think this is basically a game. Drawn lock,
draw.
but it doesn't really affect us.
Pop. And go for game.
And then he just scoops. In these videos, in these videos, you'll see Angelica's ring. I do have replays where we do the Isold combo, but
It will probably be in this one.
but that replay was just to show that you don't really need the Isold combo. You can still go the other level 1, level 4, and still make those plays. Yep, so here's the Isold. Send 4 equip cards, I believe.
Send 4 equip cards, special summon 1. Go into Angelica.
And you always want to search the field spell. No, yeah. If you don't draw the field spell, you always use Angelica to draw the field spell. And what's good here is even your own monster effects, if you target Angelica with your own monster effects, she still bounces off the field. It took me a while to. When I first started using the deck, I was always relying on the Isold combo, but it is nice to do the other combo as well. Yeah, so it's not a bad end board. We got 1, 2 negates, or 3 interruptions. So you got a spell trap negate. First spell card gets negated, and then we get a pop. So it's actually still not bad, and we've got Maxi as well. And they just set 4. Yeah, Dark Magician. So he obviously baited it out, but we're gonna negate that with Charles. Oh no, we let it go through. We're gonna just pop it, saving the negate. And then yeah, end phase. Now all our fire monsters can make 2 attacks besides Isold. Isold is obviously light. Yeah.
Nice. Just baiting out his back row. Never know what they are.
And then
Mirror Force. Unfortunate.
wait, I can't remember, but this was actually a while ago. I can't remember what actually happens here.
Recycle a few cards. Draw one. Seven.
And then we just do the other combo and then just keep going. Oh, except for this bit because obviously rolling.
SP. Banish. Eternal Soul pops his Dark Magician. One downfall of Eternal Soul. He gets Magician's Rod. He searches for Magical Circle. See if he gets lucky. He did. That's fine. We've got another museum in our hand already.
We go to
Promethean
Promethean.
Princess.
Yeah, bring back Gearfried.
Nice. Fire Charmer Heater.
And now we've got a negate. And then just re-equip it for next turn.
It is pretty cool.
And then that's game.
Nothing you can do from here. Oh, he just scoops.
So it's a good way. It is a good way to um. Obviously, if you draw the right cards, but you can then, if you get Mirror Force, still be able to make plays, and which is pretty good. Now, what do we?
What do we do here?
We get ashed. Which,
That's fine. No summon Renaud. Okay, into Angelica. Search for Field Spell. Durandal. Open special summon, which is 9, go into Emperor Charles, equip a use a monster or a equip spell. Then we go into our link. You can only go into the Great with Emperor Charles if he has a link. a equip spell, sorry.
So now we've got a spell trap negate, pop a card in the field, and we've got a negate. So we've got 3 interruptions.
Fallen of Arbaz, negate that.
And with Ogia on Emperor Charles the Great, Emperor Charles cannot be destroyed by card effects.
Grand Fusion. Probably should have waited on that pop, but never mind. It is what it is. I think this is before Dragoon got unbanned.
And it's good because the Bestials have no effect on us. Besides Isold. Isold is the only card, but Isold, once Isold's in the graveyard, that's it.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Here comes Mirror Jade. No. Oh, Titanclad.
Mirror Jade's already up.
Oh, oops, I didn't even realize.
Unfortunately. Just banish Angelica so she doesn't get destroyed and ends the battle phase, I think. She comes back. We get our equips.
And I believe this is where we go into Baron de Floor. Yeah, we negate his Mirror Jade's effect, graveyard effect.
It does have some oh, never mind, I forgot what I was going to say. You got Immortal Phoenix gear freed back in the deck, which is pretty nice. Our monsters can attack twice.
Except for Baron.
Negate. And we're able to send the Gear Blade to the graveyard so we can attack twice. It's a nice OTK there. Pretty good. Next up is Sky Striker.
Yeah, unfortunately these duels happened a while ago, but I think we just... Oh, some things have come up, so we just we never got around.
But we're able to do it now. Here we get Ash Blossom, but that's fine, we got Cool Buy. Get Durandal, Heritage, Ogea, Imperm, that's fine. We do have an extender with 5 Flint Lady. Or a node. We're going to the Angelica, like, again. Got Emperor Charles again. Use the field spell again. Since it's not once per turn, which is pretty positive. Almace. Special Emperor Charles. Aegea. Going to Emperor Charles again. Equip.
Get Ronaldo. Bring in Turpin.
Again, no Angelic Ring. Oh, got a card sheet. That's fun. But Boss said Sky Striker has a searchable card sheet. Forbidden Droplet to negate Emperor Charles. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. What's he doing? Taking back his hemp. Carmella. Shizuku. Attack. We should be able to OTK from here. We know if we get rid of Shizuku that Ray can come back and he can get more cards, but we don't need that. Five, 4, and 1 is 10, so we go into Baron. Pop his monster.
10,500 attack. And
And
he
he
scoops.
scoops.
So this deck is pretty fun, especially when you can.
Second from the top.
Especially when you can get the end board like that. 9 times out of 10, your opponent will not be able to break it.
Oh, we got an Angelic Ring.
Oh yeah, this is the OTK double or nothing, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. And we just cross out.
I need to call by. We got Max there as well. Do it anyway, apparently. Dragonair. Doesn't do anything. Oh, we crossed out Ash. Just in case. So we've got a spell negate and that's it. Oh, Rhoda has a animation. Cool. I just sent Immortal Phoenix and we got it back. Angelica again. This time we are going to have Angelic Ring, so that's pretty good. Open equips to Harry negates the field spell. Unfortunate. But it's fun. Destroy.
What are we going to here? Oh, Emperor Charles, yeah.
Put in the extra monster then for. I guess it doesn't really matter.
And he just scoops.
Nice.
Alright guys, well that's it. That's it for the replays. I hope you guys enjoy and let me know
Stay
if
tuned.
let me know if you wanna see the combo guide and we'll do a updated video
Update.
and we'll see you in the next video.
Later, guys.